In the heart of one of the world's most complex conflicts, there's an organization that has been on Israel's most wanted list for years. But who are they? And why are they so controversial? Well, today, we're unraveling the mystery behind one name that's been making headlines for years. Welcome to our exploration of who are Hamas and why are they on Israel's most wanted list. We're about to discover a story of intrigue, conflict, and controversy that goes beyond borders. So grab your seat as we dive into the world of Hamas. Understanding Hamas. First, let's start with the basics. Hamas is an acronym for Hakarat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyya, which means the Islamic Resistance Movement. It represents a Palestinian Islamist organization encompassing both a military and political branch. Established in 1987, Hamas came into existence as a response to the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories and emerged as a competitor to the secular Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO. Hamas was founded by Sheikh Ahmed Yassin and other Palestinian activists with the aim of opposing the Israeli occupation and promoting Islamic governance in the region. Its ideology integrates Palestinian nationalism with a strong Islamic basis, and it strives to establish an Islamic state in historic Palestine, encompassing modern-day Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. Hamas's activities. Hamas is widely recognized for its use of armed resistance against Israel. This resistance encompasses various actions, including launching rockets and conducting suicide bombings, which have contributed to significant tensions in the region and have led to civilian and military casualties, thereby contributing to an ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In addition to its involvement in armed conflict, Hamas plays a multifaceted role in the Gaza Strip, where it holds de facto control. Apart from its military activities, the organization provides social services to Palestinians in the area, such as education, healthcare, and other forms of aid to meet the basic needs of the population living in the Gaza Strip. This dual role as a resistance organization and a provider of social services has made Hamas a complex and controversial player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, attracting both support and criticism from various quarters. Hamas's status as a terrorist organization. Hamas is indeed considered a terrorist organization by several countries, including Israel, the United States, and the European Union, primarily due to their use of violence against Israeli civilians. However, it's important to note that some nations and organizations, including certain Arab countries, view Hamas as a legitimate resistance movement. The political dimension. Hamas plays a significant role in Palestinian politics. In 2006, it achieved a noteworthy milestone when it won the Palestinian legislative elections, securing a majority in the Palestinian Legislative Council. This electoral victory propelled Hamas into a prominent position within Palestinian politics. Ismail Haniyeh, a prominent Hamas leader, assumed the role of Prime Minister of the Palestinian Authority as a result of their electoral success. This development triggered a complex power struggle between Hamas and Fatah, another major Palestinian political faction. The power struggle led to a division between the West Bank, which was controlled by Fatah, and the Gaza Strip, which fell under the control of Hamas. This division persists to this day and has had a profound impact on the political and social dynamics of the Palestinian territories. Its victory in the 2006 elections marked a significant turning point in Palestinian politics, as it highlighted the ideological and political divisions within the Palestinian territories, as well as the challenges of reconciling these divisions to work towards a unified Palestinian leadership. The Armed Wing. Hamas is recognized for its military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades. This armed faction has been actively involved in a series of conflicts with Israel, marked by actions such as launching rockets and engaging in guerrilla warfare. These activities have had significant consequences, resulting in both physical destruction and, more critically, raising global concerns about the safety and well-being of civilians living in the region. The conflict between Hamas and Israel has led to a prolonged and complex situation in the Middle East, with political, social, and humanitarian ramifications extending far beyond the immediate battleground. Funding and support for Hamas. Hamas has indeed received substantial financial and military support from various sources, most notably Iran and Qatar. This backing has played a crucial role in enabling Hamas to maintain and enhance its military capabilities, allowing the organization to continue its operations in the region. Iran, as a long-standing supporter of Hamas, has provided the group with financial aid, weapons, and training for its military wing. This support has strengthened Hamas's ability to carry out attacks and defend its interests in the Gaza Strip and beyond. Iran's support is often seen as part of its broader regional strategy, where it seeks to exert influence and support anti-Israeli groups. Qatar has also been a significant contributor to Hamas, providing financial assistance and investments in infrastructure projects in the Gaza Strip. These funds have not only helped Hamas maintain its operations, but have also contributed to economic stability in the region. While these are two prominent sources of support for Hamas, it's important to note that the group has received backing from other actors and networks over the years. This external aid has allowed Hamas to remain a potent force in the Palestinian territories and maintain its military capabilities in the face of regional and international pressures. Hamas versus Israel. The conflict between Hamas and Israel is deeply rooted in history and remains a significant source of tension in the Middle East. Hamas has a complex relationship with Israel, characterized by ongoing military activities that often target Israeli cities and territories. This situation has resulted in frequent clashes and conflicts, with both sides engaging in acts of violence and retaliation. The historical roots of the conflict can be traced back to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which began in the early 20th century. Over the years, various factors, including competing nationalistic and religious claims to the land, have fueled the dispute. Hamas, founded in 1987 during the First Intifada Palestinian uprising, emerged as a prominent player in the Palestinian political landscape. The organization's charter calls for the establishment of a Palestinian state in the entire historical region of Palestine, including what is now Israel. Efforts by various international actors, including the United Nations and neighboring countries, have been made to broker peace and find a two-state solution, where both Israel and a Palestinian state can coexist peacefully. However, the deeply entrenched historical and political issues make finding a lasting solution to the conflict a challenging and ongoing endeavor. How do Palestinians view Hamas? The political division between the West Bank and Gaza is widely criticized. A June 2023 poll conducted by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research, PCPSR, revealed that 1/3 of Palestinians view it as the most detrimental development for their people since the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. The same poll indicated that over half of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank would vote for Hamas's Haniyeh over Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in a presidential election, while only 1/3 of Palestinians would choose Abbas. Furthermore, Abbas postponed national elections scheduled for 2021 indefinitely, citing Israel's alleged refusal to allow Palestinians in East Jerusalem to vote, although some observers suspect that Abbas did so to prevent a probable Hamas victory. How Hamas challenged Israel. Hamas has been involved in launching rockets and mortars into Israel since taking control of the Gaza Strip in the mid-2000s. Iranian security officials have acknowledged providing some of these weapons, and Hamas gained the ability to produce its own missiles after receiving training from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and its proxies. In recent years, Israel estimated that Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups in Gaza possessed around 30,000 rockets and mortars in their arsenal. Hamas militants have also used balloons carrying incendiary devices, leading to fires in some instances. Additionally, the group has conducted incursions into Israeli territory, resulting in the killing and kidnapping of soldiers and civilians. Prior to the 2023 conflict, Hamas and Israel experienced their deadliest fighting in years in 2021. This was triggered when Hamas fired rockets into Israel following weeks of tensions between Palestinians and Israelis in Jerusalem. Some analysts suggest that Hamas aimed to strengthen its reputation as the defender of the Palestinian cause after the postponement of the 2021 Palestinian Authority elections. During the 11-day conflict, both Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, PIJ, launched more than 4,000 rockets from Gaza, resulting in the deaths of 10 Israeli civilians and injuries to over 300 others. Hamas reportedly coordinated with the IRGC and Lebanon's Hezbollah during the fighting, deploying suicide drones alongside their typical less precise missiles. The United States and Egypt mediated a ceasefire to end the conflict. Hamas's attack on Israel in 2023? In a remarkable display of strategy, scale, and secrecy, Hamas launched an unprecedented offensive on southern Israel this year, known as Operation Al Aqsa Storm by its leadership. This offensive commenced on the morning of October 7th, coinciding with the Jewish Sabbath and an important Jewish holiday. Hamas initiated the assault by unleashing a barrage of several thousand rockets into southern and central Israel, with impacts felt as far north as Tel Aviv. Additionally, Hamas militants successfully breached the heavily fortified Gaza border and infiltrated numerous southern Israeli towns and villages, resulting in the tragic loss of approximately 1,400 lives and the injury and abduction of numerous others. Desecration of the Al Aqsa. Hamas's military leader, Mohammed Deif, asserted that the group's assault was a response to several long-standing issues. Central to their motivation was Israel's enduring blockade of Gaza, which has had a profound impact on the lives of the Palestinian people in the region. This blockade, they argue, has severely restricted the flow of goods, services, and humanitarian aid into Gaza, leading to economic hardship and a lack of basic necessities. Hamas pointed to alleged transgressions against Muslims as a driving force behind their actions. These transgressions included incidents such as the desecration of the Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, a holy site for Muslims. The mosque has been a focal point of tensions and clashes, and any perceived harm to it is deeply significant for those who hold it sacred. October 7th attack. The attack that occurred on October 7th is an unprecedented and tragic event in Israel's 75-year history. It has left a profound and lasting psychological impact on the Israeli people, with some analysts drawing comparisons to two significant historical events in the United States: the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 and the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. Israeli and U.S. intelligence agencies were reportedly caught off guard, as there were no indications that Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, was planning an assault of this magnitude and sophistication. CFR Senior Fellow Bruce Hoffman, an expert in terrorism and insurgency, noted that it is entirely unprecedented for a terrorist organization to possess the capacity and the resources to coordinate and execute simultaneous assaults from the air, sea, and land. War on Hamas. In recent developments, Israel has officially declared war on Hamas, initiating a military campaign with the goal of eradicating the group and securing the release of approximately 200 hostages. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has issued a stark warning of a long and difficult war against Hamas. Tensions have been escalating between Israel and Hamas, with both sides exchanging fire daily since October 7th. Israel has further tightened its grip on the situation by imposing a complete siege on Gaza, a region that was already struggling with deprivation and limited resources. Disturbingly, in the first 3 weeks of Israel's offensive, its military forces have been responsible for the deaths of more than 8,000 Palestinians living in the Gaza enclave. Tragically, around 40% of the casualties are children, according to Gaza's health ministry, which is controlled by Hamas. This loss of innocent lives has raised significant humanitarian concerns. The future. Experts express concerns that a full-scale Israeli incursion into Gaza could trigger a substantial retaliatory strike from Hezbollah, an Iran-backed militant group and political party in Lebanon. This escalation carries the risk of sparking a broader conflict in the region. CFR Senior Fellow Stephen A. Cook highlights that Iran provides support to Hezbollah, along with Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups, creating the constant threat of a two-front conflict. Such a scenario could lead to devastating consequences in parts of Israel and Lebanon, where Hezbollah is headquartered, raising the specter of further escalation. Yemen's Houthis join Hamas. The involvement of Yemen's Houthi rebels in the Israel-Hamas conflict, despite their geographic separation of over 1,000 miles from the heart of the hostilities in Sana'a, is a stark reminder of the broader regional implications of this ongoing war. The Houthi rebels, often referred to as a part of the Axis of Resistance and backed by Iran, have entered the fray by declaring that they launched drones and missiles at Israel. This move underscores the interconnectedness of conflicts in the Middle East and the willingness of various groups to unite in the face of a common adversary. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of Hamas and its presence on Israel's most wanted list. As we conclude, it's clear that Hamas is a central player in the ongoing struggle for peace and stability in the region. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights into the reasons behind its designation on Israel's most wanted list. Remember, understanding the dynamics of this conflict is essential for anyone interested in the Middle East, and we encourage you to stay informed, ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.